Well, when it comes to survival knives, I'm sure people who are watching this video have seen at least 1,000 videos on YouTube over the years as to which would be the best survival knife. In this video, I'm going to show you 9 knives out of my collection, and I'm going to ask you, the viewer, of the 9 knives that I'm going to show you, which one do you think will earn its spot to stay full-time in my new backpack that I'll be showing you in another video. Greetings and welcome back to the channel, and welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Johnny, I'm an artist, I'm a musician, and I like knives and multi-tools and outdoor outings. Sometimes I'll take these things with me out into the woods and do some kind of artsy videos as well. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, we've all seen 1,000 videos, probably more, on survival knives. I'm sorry to do this. I'm sorry, I don't like this, but in this case, I'm going to use the air quotes for the survival knife. I promise I won't do that anymore.
How dare you!
I've seen hundreds, yes, probably thousands of videos over the years on what would be the best survival knife. And of course, these videos influenced the knives that I'm going to show you that I purchased over the years. You're in the same boat, I'm sure, if you're watching this video. So all I ask is in the comments, of the 9 that I'm going to show you, let me know what you think and maybe why. I'm going to give you my rationale as I go through this video as well. Please try not to put in comments like, the Becker this or the something that I'm not showing you. It just doesn't make any sense. It puts everything out of context. So let's kind of move forward here. You can see that I've got 3 on the table, and these 3 here, a lot of you are going to know which ones, what they are. And I'm going to kind of circle back to these. I'm going to leave these on the table, and then I'll really start to do a deep dive once I start showing you these knives. So let's start off with, I guess, number 9. Number 9 would be a bushcraft knife. You've seen these kind of knives a lot. Dangler, leather sheath. This particular one I made. This is one of my own designs. I made this a few years ago on this channel. I think I call it the Trout or something like that. Anyways, it's 3/16. It's A1 tool steel. We've got oak on the handles. I made the leather sheath here as well. In a survival situation, do you think this might be not a bad choice? We've got, steel that could be a little bit more on the rust side, A1 tool steel. We've got a Scandi Vex. So what I did was it's good for splitting wood. I've taken this into the woods and I feature this in a couple of videos. So in a survival situation, let me put this in perspective as well. I forgot to add this at the beginning. I live in the Rocky Mountains. I live north, central Canada, right against the Rocky Mountains, right in the Rocky Mountains. So most of my, here we go with the quotes, survival would be in the woods. Mountains, snow, rivers, lakes, rocks, twigs, all these types of things. So would something like this be okay in a survival situation? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think a bushcraft type knife, look at the disadvantages is, you don't have that tactical grip the way you do on some of the other ones I'm going to show you. But does it work with wood? Absolutely. It works with wood extremely well. Could you process an animal with this? I think so. It would be, I think, a little bit more difficult than some of the other knives I'm going to show you, but is a bushcraft knife something that would fit the bill? So we'll call this blade number 9. Blade number 8 happens to be a Kukri. Here's a leather sheath that I made for it, so I could carry this right at the 12 o'clock position on a utility belt of some kind or a backpack, and it's readily available. So in a survival situation, a Kukri might make a good choice. Pretty heavy. Can split wood. This would be a one and done type of thing. Well, most of these knives I'm showing you are basically in that one and done category because I'm not showing you any axes here. So it's pretty heavy. It splits wood like crazy. and it's comfortable to use, but very heavy. I don't think you could use this very effectively in processing a fish or a bird or anything like that. It might be a little bit difficult. A deer would be very difficult, I'm thinking, as well. So I don't know if this one should be on the list, but I thought it'd be worthy of putting it on there because I've seen 1,000 videos where the kukri is mentioned as a survival tool as well. Let me know what you think. Coming in at number 7 and number 6 is a combination of the Falkniven R2 and the modern buoy. Would this make a good one and done situation? It's pretty heavy though. This combination is very heavy. But let's look at some of the pros and some of the cons of this combination. Okay, one of the pros here is we've got this nice little blade. I say little, but it's very thick. But this would make a great backup. You could use this for a lot of chores. You could process an animal easy with this. Mild bushcrafting, I've taken this into the woods, started many little fires with this. Food prep would be a little bit tricky. It's a little bit thick. But then again, in a survival bag situation, does it really matter? You're not going to be taking out any avocados with you. You wouldn't find any avocados, especially where I live. I put this in a little combination thing where it's a grab and go. And of course, the modern buoy is just a beast of a knife, isn't it? I mean, the way I've got this thing set up with the lanyard and the grip, this thing is absolutely amazing. I've taken this into the woods many times, a couple of videos as well. Do you think this would make a good choice? Is it too much? Too heavy? Is the blade steel going to work? What do we got here? We got that, what's it called? Laminated cobalt steel, I think. Something like that. Don't know. I honestly like it, but it's very, very heavy. Throwing this in my pack and then throwing it on my waist a little bit later in the day type of thing, it's a bit much. But what do you think? Number 5 is coming in at the Bark River Fox River. Now this one here, a lot of people are going to say it's a bushcraft knife. But I have used this thing for all kinds of stuff in the woods, and it's been very effective for me. Full convex, 3V. Maybe the 3V is a problem in a survival knife. It fits my hand really nice. I feel very comfortable using it. There's no guard of any kind here though, so that could be an issue. I really like it. This is almost, if it doesn't make the list as my number 1 on this video, this would definitely be a good number 2 backup. Let me know what you think. In this particular combination, I've got the ferro rod, which is redundant, and I've got another little knife in here as well, which I've shown on this video as well, but it's so tiny, and this is an L-Max. This thing is wickedly sharp, and I don't know, it's just a good morale booster. Having this combination around, it's not a bad idea. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. I'm thinking favorably on this combination, but I don't want to sway your opinion. So let me know what you think. I mean, this is kind of overkill. I'm not a big fan of this stuff, but there it is. And I've got it set up so you can just hook it onto pretty much anything here. So Bark River, Fox River. And number 4 on my list is the Falkniven F1. And this might be a good alternative as well. It's much lighter than pretty much everything I've shown here so far. It's that same type of steel, I believe. It's that laminated, that laminated type steel. Convex. It's thick enough that splitting a little bit of wood would not be a chore. I've taken this into the woods many a times as well. I've proven that it makes a good knife to make coffee at least. Could you clean an animal with this? Absolutely, just like that Bark River, perfect for that. Don't believe me, go see Virtual Vice. So I like this option as well. Very nice knife. It exudes confidence when you hold it. The sheath, the internet is not crazy about the sheath. I love the sheath. I have no problem with these sheaths. I'm going to come into more sheaths here in a second when I come up to the third, second, and first video knives down here as well. So I do like this. Many different types of ways. I've carried this over the years, and I'll show you coming up soon on some of the different ways. So in this configuration, you put it on the belt. You can take that carabiner. I like it. Pretty no nonsense. The grip is really good, just like the remaining blades here as well. So I like this. Not too heavy, easy to put it into a pack. Just kind of leave it down in there. If you need it, when you need it, it's ready to go. Falkniven F1, I think this one is the Pro, coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is another Falkniven. This is the S1 Pro. You see I've got a little bit of stropping material on here, some Ranger bands. I've had this thing in so many different configurations over the years, and this is where it's sitting right now. I've got a little Velcro type scenario here where I can kind of keep this out of the way. I've carried this diagonally, like I'll show you coming up soon here. It's not coming out. It's solid. I've done a couple of mods where I put in some Velcro on the inside. Some of the soft stuff just takes away that rattle. It's nice and smooth. What do you think of this one? The S1 Pro. This is getting more into the survival knife mode. The size, it's very close to that SRK, just slightly smaller from the guard portion. The blade is a little bit shorter, but the cutting edge, you'll notice the cutting edge, there's actually just a shade under on the cutting edge, but it's about the same weight, good thickness. The tip, it just exudes confidence as well. I just feel like that tip is not going to let me down in a stressful situation. Grip, wet hands, stressed, whatever, perfect. All of these knives are going to be great in the grip. Processing, easy, totally doable with this. Yeah, you got the open pommel here, which I like, versus the SRK doesn't have this. So I like that. Many times I've driven these knives into the wood in my Into the Woods videos with a stick. And with the one that doesn't have that, you're always thinking, well, you're going to start wearing that out or it's going to crack or break. So there's that. And I'm going to leave this one in its sheath. Let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, you guessed it's the Cold Steel SRK. Many videos on my channel. I've carried this in my pack. On all those videos that I've done over the years, I've carried this one, usually this one as well, in my pack as my real knife. The other ones are just video to give you something to watch, but basically I always carry the SRK in my pack. Why? Again, same thing. It just feels good in the hand. When I carry it in the diagonal off of my chest and I'm walking in the woods, it just makes me feel a little bit safer, a little bit more confident. That's pretty much it. In a survival situation, when you're feeling stressed and you've got this strapped on you properly, you need that little bit of confidence boost, I think, if it was a serious situation. And we've got a good point. This is in 3V. The disadvantage is this is the older version where we've got a ton of ricasso here. I think the newer versions, the blade comes in a little bit further. You know, this is just wasted real estate, sorry. When doing feathers or close work, the work is a little bit farther away from your hand here, so you lose that leverage. It's not as strong, but it's still pretty good. It's feels a little bit lighter than that the S1. Feels a little bit lighter. Now let's go into the sheath on this one. So currently I got this one configured to carry on the diagonal on the front, right hand, pull down, not vertical, but just diagonal. I think I've shown you how I've done this on other videos. I've got a knife sharper in there, and that's pretty much all I need. I don't need anything else. All of these knives can be carried in this exact same configuration. And I'm using shock cord, by the way. Very, very comfortable. I've used the paracord as well, and it doesn't feel as comfortable as this. You got a little bit of give here, especially when you've got other things on there, your pack and stuff. So this is how I'm carrying it right now. Of course, anything could change. You could put this back on with the belt loop, but the SRK, what do you think? Should this be the number one? And finally, that brings us to this Falkniven A1 Pro, beast of beasts. Seriously, serious knife. When I first saw this years ago, I thought, my goodness, that is something I had to get. And I did get it, and I'm glad I did. I did a little bit of customizing. I tried polishing it, but I beat the heck out of this thing, and it's just keeps coming back for more. It's a bit heavy. It's heavier than these two. It's lighter than the modern Bowie. It's lighter than the Kukri. Same great ergonomics, same massive tip, like confidence. Again, stressful situation, you need that confidence. In my humble opinion, these knives are easy to sharpen and maintain. You got the same walnut cracker here. Great in hand. It just feels really good. Let's bring over the sheath. Again, no nonsense, outdated kind of sheath that I think works. I put on a little bit of a strop. I could easily put in the sharpener from the SRK sheath. Pretty much, I can modify this as well. I can make this exact same kind of carry on that diagonal. It stays in pretty good. This one's got great retention. I can modify this. I haven't done this to this one yet, but I can modify this as well so it stays open, so it's always ready to go. Many different ways to carry it. Obviously on the hip, diagonally, onto the armpit. I've carried this many different ways. So these are my choices. Let's do a quick recap. So in recap mode, I'm looking at the Kukri, I'm looking at the modern Bowie and the R2 and my Bushcraft knife. I'm thinking those ones are going to be coming out of the equation for some of the reasons that I mentioned. That leaves me with these 5. Now, of these 5, I think one of them should be my number 1 tool, and the second one should be the backup. And I'm kind of having a hard time with this one, be honest with you. As far as backups, I really like this one. This one here has served me really, really well over the years. It just has, and the only thing that's holding me back on this one is the guard. Remember, these are 2 knives here, my primary and the backup. I'm talking about these 2 have made the backup. This one here, I would be afraid to do this. If I slipped on that and you're out in the woods, not good. Been out there many times. I've cut myself many, many times, many different stories, and it's not pleasant. Not saying that that's going to happen, but in that stressful situation, anything's possible. Here, not so much. We've got that protection there, which is good. Very strong tip, not overly heavy. It's not any more heavier than the Bark River. The handle is screaming grip, comfort. Got that little pommel on there again as well. Could be the backup. I'm kind of leaning towards the F1. So that leaves these three as the primary #1 survival tool, survival knife. It's a tough one. For me, this is a really tough choice. I like this guy a lot because he is light, super strong, easy to maintain, got a good guard, got a good pommel. This guy, SRK, I've used this for years. Lighter, the lightest of the three. Couple of cons though, I brought them up, but still a good knife. And the beast of the beasts. Much heavier, so you got that weight thing going on, but chopper, cutter, feathers, splitting, food, maybe not so much, but you might be digging for roots. Hard to say. It's a tough one. I think for this video, I'm going to leave it up to you and just see what your comments are in the bottom. See if any of the stuff I'm talking about makes sense. Of course, hypothetically, survival could be anything. I've shown you many videos on my channel where I go out into the woods, it's -30. In my humble opinion, and based on 6 kilometers away from my house with no vehicle nearby, to me, that's a survival situation. If anything happens to me, get cut, get injured, frostbite, I still got to get my sorry ass home, and I don't have cell phone coverage. So everything I'm talking about is within those parameters. I'm carrying stuff, I'm going downhill, I'm going uphill. Maybe one of these knives is going to make more sense than the others, but I'm feeling that this one is going to be my backup. I want this one to be my backup. I could use for all kinds of EDC, whatever you want to call, whatever terminology you want to use, I would use that one. And it's going to be one of these three, so I'm really looking forward to what you have to say. Like always, we'll see you again in the next video, maybe.